On April 19, 1995, an explosion racked the Oklahoma City Federal Building, killing 68 people and damaging over 300 nearby buildings. The daycare center in the Federal Building was hit hardest by the blast. 19 children under the age of 6 were killed, some as young as 3 months old. The FBI began an enormous manhunt for the terrorist behind the blast. Then, 6 days after the explosion, someone began selling T-shirts on an AOL discussion board. The shirts glorified the attack with slogans like, "Visit Oklahoma, it's a blast," and, "Finally, a daycare center that keeps the kids quiet, Oklahoma, 1995. The ad listed the phone number to call to buy the shirts. The ads were a vicious hoax. Kenneth Zeran, the man whose name and phone number were listed, had nothing to do with the bombing or the shirts. But once the ads appeared, he began receiving death threats. If a newspaper had published the defaming material, Zeran could have sued it. But when Zeran sued AOL, he lost. A 2006 federal law, designed to foster the growth of the Internet, said that Internet service providers are immune from the types of liability that apply to other publishers. The result has been the creation of cyber cesspools, websites that exist only to defame and intimidate people. In some cases, people post a Google map of a woman's house and make it appear that she'd like to be raped. 15 years after the passage of the law, I spoke to Kenneth Zeran after he'd addressed a conference of law professors. He'd argued that with the ability of people to post anonymously, we need a new legal mechanism to assure that defamatory and threatening posts that attack individuals can be removed from the web. You mentioned in your talk that now it's so simple. I can just drive down the street with a laptop, pick up other people's wireless, and post defamatory things about people, post threatening things about people. In one of the cases, the auto admit case, someone was posting, "Anybody by the name of Hillary should be raped." There was one case where someone posted, "It's beat up a redhead day," and actually at that middle school, numbers of children beat up redhead children. And so you can do real world harm. This isn't like an avatar playing around in a video game. And so you gave an example of how we might want to, in fact, be able to take down anonymous postings.
We're going to have to cross this bridge because anonymous crime is easy to pull off with wireless technology. So you're going to see more and more and more of it, and there's only one response to it. There has to be some mechanism to remove it from the server. And I had suggested, like everything else in our life, because the internet is part of our daily life, what do we turn to for everything else? We turn to law enforcement.
What you've said is, when it rises to the level of crime, if you can convince a police department that what is happening is a crime.
And there's a penalty for making false allegations to the police. So that would cut down on people just wasting their time if I don't like what somebody said.
Ex-wife or so
We're
forth.
talking
You'd
about
have to show it was a crime, that there was some way in which you were threatened, your life was being threatened by a posting, or pornography was being posted. You talked about, potentially someone photoshopping in the daughter of a judge into pornographic video, putting on the web the address, the phone number. I mean, those sort of things have happened where ordinary people like yourself all of a sudden are getting calls, death threats. You've been associated with Oklahoma City bombing, which you had nothing to do with, and people now are taking out their anger on you, potentially threatening your life. It blows up all over the web, and you can't take it down. That seems to be privileging one aspect of our Constitution, free speech, against the other, which is privacy. And so how do we get those fundamental values of people's privacy back into the internet?
And there has to be something there to remove, the kind of content that our founding fathers never envisioned with the Bill of Rights or the First Amendment. And anytime you broach this issue, people are so trigger happy about the First Amendment that there can't be a serious discussion about that.
But we've always had exceptions to the First Amendment in the sense of you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Right. You can't defame people. You can't ruin someone's business with inappropriate information. You can't, the troopship exception, you're not supposed to be able to tell where the government's troopships are and let the enemy bomb them. So it is not absolute, and we have, I think, many other important values. Privacy is one, the Fourth Amendment privacy of your own life.
If somebody is on a server and nobody knows who they are, it doesn't do the FBI any good. What are they going to do? There has to be a linchpin in there to remove it upon order by law enforcement. And think about it, just think about this. Every single person who uses the internet is now a broadcaster as powerful as CBS itself or the New York Times. They can type something, put it on the net, and it goes far beyond the distribution of those media.
No, you have college students who have
so everybody's a
multi-million,
publisher.
Followers.
They're all publishers, and the internet is broadcasting. So why not bring all the thinking of traditional law in media?
A couple hundred years worth of thinking about really the limits between privacy and free press to this.
Right, exactly. I think it's pretty logical. Just have a mechanism where you can respond.
Been huge financial harms, huge, psychological harms, huge physical harms, and so we've got to find a way to address it. Certainly,
I'm an artist, and nobody enjoys the First Amendment more than an artist. So I don't want to strike down 230. I don't want to abridge the First Amendment at all. But Section 230 is, to some extent, illegitimate. It is not a thorough, legitimate law. It has a real loophole in it, and it's for anonymous crime.
So you're a fine artist, and also you're a front runner in the use of media technologies, and now you're going to change the law on digital law as well. Congratulations.
Why not? One day the phone rang and history was calling.
Well, I'm glad you picked up, and I'm glad you were willing to talk to us.